Okay, it's Monday, and today is December 11th, and we are solidly into the third week of Sagittarius season. As we spoke last week was the week where we were opening our bandwidth and coming into greater maturity about our fire, our passion, our truth. And now this week, it's really landing. And this is the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Fire week. And this is a week where we deeply know that we know something about ourselves, about life, about our guiding principles, about other people, about what means something to us. And the entire initiation is about finding that 7-layer deep why. And if any of you have ever done practices where you're in a seminar maybe, and someone says, why? And you say, because this, and they say, but why? And you go deeper and deeper. Usually the person you're in that activity with, they know that you've actually reached the deepest why when the emotion begins, when you start to cry about it, when your face flushes and you really feel it. And these deeper whys are usually very simple. They're core. They're the fuel that moves everything. And so this week is a week that will present us with the questions that make us go a level deeper. I'm just going to read a little bit from the initiation in the book. If you're unfamiliar with these initiations, I create a planner every single year. And this is last year's planner. It's almost done. We're in December. But if you would like to follow along next year, I've got the 2024 planner available. It is on Amazon. It is beautiful. I'm very, very proud of it. It has even more wisdom in it this year than it did last year. And I will make sure that the link is below. So if you love these videos and you want to follow along at home, on your desk, in your own thoughts, I would strongly recommend getting one of those planners for yourself. And then you can watch these videos and have an even greater level of understanding from having your own insights from each of these initiations. So the initiation for the week between December 10th and the 16th is about the deep seeker. And it says, what is your deepest and truest why? Now is the time to feel it, know it, be it. Our why is not an objective outcome. Our why is not a tangible goal. It's not measured in numbers or labels or titles. And why is not our role. We can find our why 7 layers deep at the bottom of the well of grief, realizing there's always more. At the top of the mountain of achievement, realizing there's always more. And in the soft sunlight trickling through the window on a sweet and peaceful day, realizing it's been all the places all the time. The way we know we have claimed our why is that it is the origin of every movement. Every instinct comes inherently from it. It's the sieve through which all decisions are made. All moments are experienced through this why. So what is it then? Ask why at least 7 times and dive into your most felt answer. Unless you feel a flood of fire and heat and maybe tears, you're not there yet. Go deeper. So there are 7 days in this week, and I'm going to go through the astrology for each day of the week because each one can present another question that will drive you another layer deeper. And the reason why this is so important is because when we truly know why we move into relationship, why we take care of our bodies, why we create businesses or work, why do we do anything? When we truly know our deepest why, everything can unfold effortlessly. If we're ever confused about some area of our life or lacking motivation for doing something that we know we'd like to do, usually it's because we haven't connected with the deeper why for that thing yet. And I guarantee you, if you take the time to really mindfully go into your deeper why this week, all of the fire that you require for the rest of the season, for the rest of the initiations, all the way through till the beginning again, which happens in March in Aries season, you will have the energy and power to really see clearly and efficiently and effectively, so that you can step into your legacy with confidence and passion, so that you can create impact without withdrawing from that impact, and so that you can feel open and connected to every person that you share this planet with. That's ultimately what the last initiations of the year are actually about. And so this is really important. And without these things, we can, in some ways, fall into a season of sadness or depression. We can fall into a season where we don't understand where our fulfillment is. I've been studying these cycles for a really long time, and I've been able to study both sides of the equation for myself. And this year was the year that I was like, all right, no inhibition. I'm just going to lean all the way in. When it says to rise up, I'm going to rise up. When it says to sleep, I'm going to sleep. And I'll tell you, the outcome of this year has been an even deeper connection to why I study the cycles, why I dedicate myself to understanding the rhythms. And so my why is feeling ultra super invigorated. And it's not really even from, it's honestly these really subtle things that are very personal and private to me. It is the sunlight trickling through the window, like while I'm practicing drawing my daughter and she's drawing me. It's like, I could just start. The why for me is so close to my heart. I could start crying about it right now. And that's what I want for all of you. I just want you to feel the really important thing. And it's just what will make anything worth everything. So, oh my gosh, I did not expect to get emotional, but that's exactly what, it's okay. Okay, I'm going to go into the days of the week this week. Okay, Sunday. The moon was in Scorpio on Sunday. Sunday, we were protecting our internal boundaries, our passionate boundaries over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. These boundaries were in some ways new. We discovered something about ourselves last week that opened up our bandwidth. And from those discoveries, we decided to create a new standard and a new either open boundary or a new line that we are going to stand behind. And so on Sunday, there were some harmonious alignments that could lead to beautiful breakthroughs. We had quite a lot of astrology going on. Most notably, we had Venus opposite Jupiter. So that would be our ability to be very receptive, looking directly across at our ability to be very expansive. So this is an expansive moment that we can actually allow ourselves to take in. That would actually be the thing that would create the breakthrough. And while that was happening, we also had Mercury trining Jupiter and Black Moon Lilith trining Jupiter. That means that this expansion that we allow ourselves to receive actually can illuminate and clear some of our fears, some of our shame, some of our repressed, internal ideas about ourselves that simply just aren't true. And it also helped us to become aware with all of this, aware that this expansion, that the patience, that the growth, that receiving, I just think that it was just the perfect climate for some really beautiful breakthroughs. And there was also, the moon did this nice trine to Neptune yesterday. It did an opposition to Uranus yesterday. I mean, there was just kind of a lot going on. So I hope that it was a dynamic and beautiful day, because now that we're in the energy of today, we're preparing for a new moon. The moon is in Sagittarius today. And the words I have for today are, we can't unknow what we know now. And so if you were going to be asking questions to get 7 layers deep, perhaps the question you could ask for yesterday was, what was my beautiful breakthrough yesterday on Sunday? And what do I know now that I can't unknow? That could be your second question. I didn't write these as questions, but I'm going to reframe it a little bit so that we can. So then on Tuesday, we have the new moon in Sagittarius. And the energy is, can my flame burn brighter? So what if I turned it up a little bit? What if I really allowed myself to feel the flame inside of me? Can I let it burn a little bit brighter? Sometimes that's more vulnerable, to allow ourselves to feel even more on fire about something. Sometimes that's the scarier thing. And the new moon is saying, if not now, then when? This is the only new moon in Sagittarius that we get. If not now, then when? Like, it's the one. So just open up and feel your passionate fire. Feel the emotions. Feel what you care about so much that you would do almost anything in your life because of it. And then on Wednesday, we're going to have Mercury beginning retrograde. For the last 3 weeks of December, Mercury will retrograde and it will move forward on the 1st of January. Not only that, with Mercury moving direct on the 1st, we also have Jupiter moving direct on the 31st. It's going to feel like a real exciting movement in the new year. But for the next 3 weeks, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be quiet. We're going to, the words I have for Wednesday for Mercury retrograde while the moon's in Capricorn, and Mercury will be retrograding in a trine to Black Moon Lilith. So this is harmonious. It's a harmonious release of repressed shame and fears, okay? So that Mercury retrograde begins a 3-week process where we have redirection toward our truest values. We get to use the entire moon cycle, almost the entire moon cycle, from the new moon on Tuesday or the last 3 weeks of this year to redirect toward our truest values. So if you wanted to ask another question on that day, what could I redirect toward a truer value of mine? What could I redirect toward? So we're getting 7 layers deep every single day this week. Then on Thursday, the moon will be in Capricorn. Mercury will still be in a trine to Black Moon Lilith. So it's a similar energy to the day before. And we fully understand what stopped us before. So I think that this is a layer that we might get to and start noticing some of our coping strategies get triggered. And it could start to feel really important. It could start to feel kind of emotional at this level of depth. And if you can bring awareness to this day, you can actually say, oh, that's what stopped me from feeling before. That's the thing that stopped me from really owning my deepest truth or my deepest why. And so I think that awareness will be here for us on Thursday. And then on Friday, the moon will move into Aquarius, but before it does that in the morning, it'll cross over Pluto. And we'll also have a Mars trining Chiron. Now, if you understand what stopped you from going another layer deep with your why on Thursday, Friday is this opportunity to deeply heal some wounded part of you that you didn't accept about yourself, that you created coping strategies so that you didn't have to own the truth of your own preferences, the truth of your own desires. Mars parts of us are really the parts that are claiming something for ourselves, that stand behind what we're about. And so with a healing to Chiron, this could be when it really starts to click in, where that why begins to the fire gets turned up. So Friday's words are, now we move forward with a healed perspective. So if you were going to frame that as a question, how do I move forward now with a healed perspective? So this will give us a behavioral suggestion. What do we do knowing this why? Now, how are our behaviors changing now that we know how deep this why is? And then on Saturday, the sun will be in a square to Uranus. The moon will be in Aquarius. So this is kind of the little cherry on top of the week where we get to the deepest why. It says, we are aware of the gap between where we are and our most beautiful ideal. That gap might just be a perception, just to let you know. We're aware of the gap between where we are and the most beautiful ideal, and we know how to close it by zooming out a bit. That's kind of a lot of words, I'm sorry. But if you could just imagine, Aquarius moon is giving us the ability to go high above and to see the fabric of past, present, and future, and all the people involved. That's what Aquarius does for us. And the sun square Neptune, the sun is over in Sagittarius, revealing the truth. Neptune is in Pisces, revealing the spiritual ideal. So we have we have truth or passion, we have spiritual ideals, and then we have the ability to allow ourselves to rise up and see the whole picture. That is going to reveal where the gap is and how we close it, so that our felt reality is exactly the ideal that we want to be experiencing. And I'm serious, like I've already been having the experience. I am having these experiences already. It's literally, it's a perceptual shift. It is just a perspective shift. It is when we're in a perspective where we're looking up at something and it feels hard and it feels tedious and it feels like we don't have enough energy, then we feel like we're not in a space of grace. We're not in the space of connection and love that we long for. And if we can see that it's just the way we're looking at our reality, we can understand that that's actually what's creating the gap or the shadow that we perceive. And so I believe this week is actually the revealing week where we suddenly are able to sit back into the throne of what we want, what we think life is ultimately about. And then next week is the week where the King of Fire, the King of Wands, steps in and actually begins restructuring our life in accordance to this why. This is a really, really powerful week if you like to do like spin-off research. Simon Sinek, if you haven't watched his stuff or if it's been a while, look up Simon Sinek, The Golden Circle. He talks about the why in the center of the golden circle. And he frames it in sometimes in an entrepreneurial space, like if you know why you do something, that reveals how you do it, and then finally the what. But I like to extrapolate that into literally everything. Everything. Like, why would you eat something? Why would you buy something? Why would you go somewhere? Why would you do anything? When you know that, it makes everything, creates a standard for integrity that you can follow. And so I'm super excited. I love this week. Traditionally, this is like one of the fieriest weeks for me, and it could be for everyone because it's not just for me, it's for the collective. And so I hope that this serves you. I hope you go 7 layers deep, and I can't wait to touch back in touch with you next week. I have a bunch of announcements, but I'm not actually prepared to even share them. I'll just be posting stuff on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, please do. It's at lunation.live. And I'm excited to see you next time. Okay, bye.